What's going on today, guys? MMA Messiah here. Today we're going to be talking about the UFC Freedom 250, some early predictions, the next upcoming cards, and what the next best possible outcome for UFC is in the next 3 months in the coming events of and during. I just want to make sure I'm recording the UFC White House card. And just what I think about the fights, exactly how they're going to play out. I see a lot of different people talking about these fights and how they're going to play out. So I want to give my take on it. We're going to get into it today, and also we're going to be going over some matchmaking that I think we should be doing. And I'm going to have it on screen here for you guys today. But the next few fights that they should announce and everything like that. Let's get into it. Okay, so UFC White House card. I'm gonna start at the bottom of the prelims because not a lot of people talking about how good this card actually is. And then we got Holloway and McGregor too right after it. Steve Garcia versus Diego Lopez is a huge fight in the featherweight division. It determines a lot. Oh God, could you imagine if he wins this and we get Lopez Volk 3 or some shit like that? That would be awful. Steve Garcia is good though, man. He's got solid fundamental boxing. He's good in the pocket. He's a tough matchup for Diego Lopez, if I'm being honest. Diego Lopez is kind of getting pieced up on the feet by Gene Silva, which I know that's fucking Gene Silva, but still. His defense is a little sus. I've been seeing the way he responds to pressure in some of his recent fights. Garcia brings it, man. But Diego Lopez, I think, is just still too good. I think the grappling is going to play advantage to him. His submission game is going to be too much, and if Diego Lopez has good striking, but his ground game's where it's at, and he's most dangerous whenever he can mix it in. Like if he's got you on the feet and he thinks he can shoot a takedown on you, like even if he can provide a little forward pressure, I think Diego Lopez gets it here. And it's a big fight because, I mean, what does Diego Lopez do after that? Gene Silva, Diego Lopez 2, I think would be a good one. Steve Garcia, if he wins, he should fight maybe Gene Silva after that. But Gene Silva needs to fight higher up in the rankings. I think Gian Silva and Lerone Murphy is a good fight. I think Silva gets it done over Murphy there. But a lot of interesting, because it puts Diego in a weird spot if he wins. I mean, statistically, if you look at him, we're going to break down the fight pretty in depth here, but got 27 and 8, 19 and 5 coming. He's coming off a win. He's coming off a loss to Volkanovski, but I mean, it's Volk for Christ's sake. I didn't know Garcia was taller. I didn't know Garcia was taller. I don't know why he's weighing in at 160. He fights at featherweight. He'll fight as featherweight here. Garcia's also got a big. Oh no, no, no. Yeah, he's got a big reach advantage right there. Legs at the same height. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a weird. It's going to be a tough matchup for Diego Lopez. I think if he wants to win easy here, he needs to go for the takedowns. Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dawkins. I see a lot of people talking about this fight. Nah, fuck this. I'm not talking about this fight. I'm skipping ahead. Just wait. Okay. I'm just gonna cut the bullshit. Ilya Taporia is sleeping Justin Gaethje in the first round. I want to talk about the Diego Lopez fight first because I don't see a lot of people talking about that. But Ilya Taporia, it's crazy, dude. Because we've seen Jan upset Merab and then Strickland upset Hamzat. So it makes me wonder on so many levels. Like, is he really gonna get it done over Gaethje? I think he will. Taporia is we've saw like glints of weakness from Merab, and we've seen glints of weakness from Hamza, and we kind of that's what makes Strickland such an interesting matchup because people genuinely believed he could beat him. It's just the odds were so big whenever it came down to it. But Ilya Taporia is so much better technically on every level, like compared to Hamzat. Like obviously he's not a wrestling menace in that aspect, but Hamzat we saw him gas out against Usman. Hamzat we saw him gas out and have a fucking slugfest against Gilbert Burns, and that aged terribly. And then he had a few other close fights, but for the most part, he decimated the competition. But we saw glints of weakness. So if you put him in those further rounds, he's going to be. But we've seen Taporia tested on every. Charles tested his grappling. He got crucifix on Charles. What is Justin Gaethje actually gonna do? What is he gonna do? He's gonna hit. He's gonna hit. Like the only way I see Gaethje getting him is like with like a crazy shovel hook. But even then, bro, Taporia has a crazy chin and he's crazy fucking durable. And when was the last time we've seen Justin Gaethje KO someone in the first fucking round? Taporia is not only a better stand-up striker, but Gaethje doesn't even have a choice to stand with him because he can't shoot on him or he'll get subbed. Taporia would fucking pull a guillotine on Gaethje if he tried to shoot on him, and then just immediately sub him right after that. Oh, I got water. It is what it is. Taporia Gaethje is a guaranteed lock. Gaethje is getting sacrificed on the White House lawn. Everyone already knows it. I need to talk about it because I don't know, man. Gaethje can get it done. I think Gaethje gonna win, dude. Shut the fuck up. If Taporia beats Justin Gaethje, I might actually stop watching the sport. I'm not even a crazy Taporia fan. I love him. I think he's good for the sport, and I think he's entertaining to watch. But I don't really love him like I love fucking Yuri or Max Holloway. You know what I'm saying? RP Max. Taporia owns his fucking chin. You know, that was a crazy win. I was sad as fuck about that. I want Taporia to lose, but now he's just so goated that it's like if he loses now, then all the other wins, like they kind of don't mean as much. He can't. He's on such a hot streak that if he loses here, it'd probably be worse for the sport. We'd have Gaethje as champion, but he'd probably just retire, or Taporia would get him in a rematch anyway. But what is Justin Gaethje generally going to do? Is it the shovel hook? Is it the right hook? How can he clip Taporia? Like, what does he do? The head kick's there. The head kick could be there. I'd say if he does it via head kick. Because the only thing time Taporia got hit was with that that head kick from Jai Herbert. And we've seen people do that type of thing. Like Sean O'Malley got leg kicked by Chito Vera, and then, that was a fluke, and he made that quite obvious in the rematch. But Taboria's fixed that part of the game, just like Sean O'Malley's fixed that part of the game. Chito tried doing it in the second fight. It did not work. So, now that I'm done with this fight, please let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and like and subscribe if you can. If you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it. Really, really, really helps a lot. I want to get to a bigger community so I can debate people. Get more in depth on these because I'm interested in what everyone has to hear. That's why I created this YouTube channel. That's why I created this channel to talk with people about this kind of stuff. This is the most interesting. All these fights are so good, dude. This is a good card. Like quality over quantity card for sure, but still. Pereira versus Gane. My buddy and I were talking about this. And he thinks Gane's going to school him. And I actually think it's the opposite. I think it's Pereira probably will school him. I see this, I don't. If it ends by knockout, Pereira gets the knockout. My buddy is saying that fucking Ciryl Gane knocks him out in the 4th or 5th round. If he gets that pick correct, I'll glaze him forever. But Pereira, I think, gets it done in later rounds. I think Pereira is so much more experienced, but Ciryl Gane has 83 Muay Thai fights. But Pereira is fighting better people. He's training more. He has more grit. He is a fucking fighter, dog. You know what I mean? Ciryl Gane is technical, and he could be loose on the feet and fast. And my buddy was saying, Ciryl Gane could get knocked out, or Ciryl Gane can knock Pereira out because Pereira got knocked out by Izzy at 185 with 2 perfect right hooks took him to put to sleep. But that was at 185 though, dude. He was weight drained as fuck, in my opinion. And Pereira, I think, what is this going to be, a leg kick battle? Pereira wins those every time. Ciryl Gane, he can tip-tap, but, dude, Alex Pereira knows how to put the fucking pressure on. Ciryl Gane has great movement. He's going to go to the outside, but I think Pereira can pressure him and prevent him from moving to the outside and really put some sting on him that he's never felt. And I think that Ciryl Gane, since he was competing with Tom Aspinall so closely, Tom Aspinall beats Pereira because he just spears him, like he said. But Gane is elusive on the feet, and it is an interesting matchup. The real question, it just all boils down to, can Alex Pereira shut down Ciryl Gane's lateral movement and footwork and cancel him out with appropriate pressure or catch him whenever he's trying to go in on the inside? Because I do think he could catch Ciryl Gane whenever he's going in on the inside. Ciryl Gane does leave his hands down, but his elusive footwork keeps him on the outside, and his extremely long reach and stature are insane. It's an interesting matchup. I just think I really do. Like maybe I'm biased because I don't like Gon, but like in a tit for tat battle, lighter man skill. He's not only got light heavyweight skill, but 185 skill. Whenever you really think about it, and that skill is going to make the difference. And I think Cyril Gaon's never seen skill. I don't think he's ever seen a heavyweight keep up with him to the extent that he could. Like Ngannou didn't have anything for him on the feet, but Aspinall was getting into the fight. He was landing shots of his own, but he was able to keep up with Gon on the feet. Aspinall might be bigger, and Gon might be a little bit bigger too, but I really think the skill is gonna. But it's so tough. It's so tough. It's so tough. It's so tough. It really is so tough. I'm going Pereira, man. I'm either saying like fourth or fifth round knockout or decision. But yeah, I think Pereira gets it done via like fifth round knockout or decision. I think he's going to be putting the pressure on in the later rounds, and Cyril Gane isn't. Sean O'Malley versus Ayman Zahabi is a better fight than what people let it on to. But I was watching some Ayman. Zahabi does have that dog in him. I hate to admit it. I hate him and his little fucking. He looks like Ariel Helwani. Oh, but he's got some dog in him. Like he tried, he got kneed and almost knocked out by Jose Aldo, and then worked his way back into the fight. So it's very interesting to see what's going to happen here. But O'Malley just might land 350 strikes on him. You know what I mean? For over across 3 rounds, and the fact that it's 3 rounds does favor Zahabi a slight bit, but hopefully O'Malley can get more output going and get more confidence going. I think we see a vintage Sean O'Malley performance here, but I think he just needs to watch out for Zahabi. I think Zahabi could land a big bomb on him or start putting the pace on him or something. Zahabi does have a lot of heart, so O'Malley needs to be precarious about that and be worried about it and go into this knowing it's a fight. And he's also got his brother behind him, Zahabi does, who's a really good coach, and I think that does play a factor into things. But O'Malley gets it done no matter what. I think this is an easy pick for O'Malley. Zahabi is kind of also, but Zahabi's never gotten this shot before. This is the biggest fight of his life. That puts a different animal into people. I hope to God he doesn't get knocked out by a fucking Canadian dog. Please, bro. Please don't get knocked out by a fucking Canadian. Hockett versus Lewis is going to be entertaining. Josh Hockett's going to knock him out in the first round, and then Josh Hockett's going to knock him out in like 10 seconds and then flip off his body. Mauricio Rufy, no, I mean, it'd be very entertaining if Derek Lewis goes out swinging or some shit like that and lands a big bomb on Hockett. I'm not going to say it's as simple as that, but Derek Lewis is unathletic as fuck, dude. Anyone who doesn't know this, also, Zahabi really does. Like, he is chinny. So, O'Malley's going to probably knock him out in the second round or land 100, 400 significant strikes on him like he did fucking Chris Moutinho. I see a Chris Moutinho-esque performance here if Zahabi's got a chin like that, which I doubt it because he was taking big shots off Jose Aldo. Derek Lewis is a fat heavyweight. He's 41 years old. This is the biggest fight of his life somehow, even though he fought DC for a fucking title. He gets paid a bag here to show up and get flatlined by Hockett after Hockett lands like a 1-2 combination on him in the first round, just like initial push. I see like Derek Lewis or Derek, dude. You never know, dude, man. These heavyweight fights are so 50-50, but Hockett wins this, 75% of the time. Chandler is hopeless here. If Mauricio Rufy can knock out Fiziev on the feet when Justin Gaethje couldn't fucking do it, let alone in the second round so easily, he's going to knock out Michael Chandler in the first. He's way bigger than Chandler, too, lengthwise. He is getting the stylistic matchup of Conor McGregor here, you know what I mean? Like, it sucks that Michael Chandler has to fight this guy at the White House and get slimed out. Is like some sort of form of reconciliation for you know getting slimed out on the White House's reconciliation for not getting the Conor fight. Which if Michael Chandler loses and then Conor McGregor loses, they could still do this fight. I think they could do that. I think Michael Chandler would be it would be advantageous for him to win or lose here because if he wins, he still wins the Conor fight, still ranked. But Conor, if he wins or loses, it's still the Chandler fight's still there. I still think we get a second fight out of Chandler or a second fight out of McGregor. Chandler's just the second option, not the first. And if he loses here, then that's even better. If Conor loses and Chandler loses, they can still fight. If Michael Chandler wins and Conor McGregor wins or loses, really, he could still fight Chandler. So it's not completely out of the books for him. But the UFC will probably just fuck him over. You know what I mean? They'd probably put Mauricio Rufy and Conor McGregor together. That'd be insane. That would be good star power for Rufy, I'd say. But Rufy gets this done. Rufy's gonna put him out like he is being roofied. Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dawkins, not the most interesting matchup. Bo Nickel's gonna get this done. It'd be hilarious to see him to lose to Kyle fucking Dawkins of all people, and just get all that momentum shifted downward. But that would just be bad for the sport at this point. That would be just terrible for the sport at this point. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit tired. I got the matchups pulled up here for the next few months. But I'm gonna go over some of the main events they should do for the next few fights because we already went over all these fights. So I'm gonna move on. Who should? Yeah, I was doing an edit earlier. Ignore that. For UFC 330, who should they match up with each other? You know what I mean? It's gonna be in Philadelphia. We're gonna ignore this. I'm just getting this pulled over. It's to be announced. Who else do they do? Who do they do here? Right. Well, I see a lot of people talking about it's definitely going to be Islam. That's pretty much all but confirmed that it's going to be an Islam main event on UFC 330. Yeah, they're probably going to announce it at the White House, I would speculate. Or, yeah, they're probably going to announce it at the White House, I would imagine. Or in the next few weeks. I'm expecting an announcement for it sometime soon. They might announce it at the White House and then maybe at the 329 card. Who do they do? I don't have pictures fucking pulled up, but I'd say it would be Islam versus Gary next. Islam versus Gary is the card to make. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say that Islam wins this, but I do think it is an interesting fight. I don't know why the fuck it's pulling that up there. Please don't copyright me. Okay, here it is. It's not announced yet, but it will be soon. I've been seeing leaks all over it from on Twitter and everything and Thread. God. Best editor YouTube guys. Don't mind this. But I do believe this is the fight that happens next at welterweight. I think Ian Gary is the most deserving. I just want to get it out of the way because this is kind of going to go to decision. Islam wins this, I think. I think it's a very interesting matchup. But just looking in depth, the reason I think Islam wins this, he shut down JDM with wrestling, unlike the likes of which we've never seen. I think it, Ian Gary has more or much less finishing potential than JDM. JDM got way closer to finishing Bilal Muhammad than Ian Gary ever did in 3 rounds. They both fought Muhammad, and I thought JDM's performance was much more impressive than Ian Gary's. I don't think Gary's strong enough. I think he's technical. I think he presents some problems. I think his length does. But, these lanky welterweights, Islam Makhachev is going to be able to keep up with their strength and conditioning. And Islam's still going to be strong. And on the ground length, it's going to do you a disservice against Islam. Islam's a submission threat, that if he sees it, he'll snatch it up. But he's not going to compromise position. Gary can be prepared all he wants, but Islam Makhachev is too defensively sound, and Ian Gary is too low output. And he can't get going like that. He can't do everything he was doing to Protest on the feet. That was a Protest at short notice. I think Protest is more likely to beat Makhachev than Gary because he prevents actual danger on the feet. Gary just kind of kicks in range. You don't have to, you're going to get point fought, but, Islam's good, man. And if Volk, Volk can't do it, if Poirier can't do it, and yeah, dude, if JDM can't get up, and JDM's scramble game is very underrated. We'll take away everything. We'll just take away what we saw from the JDM fight, which was JDM's scramble game is top notch. What we know about JDM is that he could scramble out of Burns, that he could scramble out of Muhammad, but he couldn't scramble out of Makhachev. Ian Gary just lost to Shavkat Rakhmonov because he was like this at range with him because he was so scared of Rakhmonov. Rachmanov gets taken down by and subbed by Mahashev. That's what we learned from Gary. Gary's got a crafty ground game. That's the only danger I think he really presents. And Mahashev shuts that down. He invites it. You know what I mean? And Mahashev, while he's got good stand up. He's not going to be as fearing of Mahashev, as of Gary as he was JDM, who's got real danger and real power potential. And they were well prepared for the JDM fight. They were well prepared for the JDM fight, and they'll be well prepared for Gary. And Mahashev takes it probably late, late submission when Gary tries to make a stupid scramble or something. And I could see Mahashev probably hurting Gary on the feet. Mahashev's got good kicks. I don't think he'll be as but I think his wrestling just gets shut down. Like I think the only danger that these welterweights present to him is on the feet. Michael Morales is the toughest matchup for him. If they make Michael Morales versus Mahashev next, then that's a crazy fight. I think Morales is a much closer fight. And I think he has the 50. I think that's a 50-50 fight because I think Mahashev versus Morales is a 50-50 fight for real. But what should they do for UFC 331? Well, I've kind of thought ahead of this. I got the matchup right here. And I think they are going to do this. UFC 331 should be Volk versus Movsar. There shouldn't be any question about that. Let me get it pulled up right here. Yeah, okay, we'll do this. This should be UFC 331. Volkanovski versus Evloev. And it's in early negotiations now. I just wanted to get it pulled up on Instagram for y'all. But you love to see it. Volk's just going to be going on another crazy title run. He's going to defend against Evloev here. He should retire after he defends against Evloev. It would be crazy because Volkanovski's still deteriorating from age, so Evloev could just hold him down and smudge him for 5 rounds. But I just don't think Evloev really presents any dangers to Volk that he hasn't seen before. His sloppy boppy striking looked terrible against Lerone Murphy. It was pillow punches the whole fight. Murphy was able to get up, and even whenever Evloev was able to hold him down, he wasn't able to get much done. So with that takeaway, I do think Volkanovski gets this done. And I think this is the best case scenario if Volk wins. The best case scenario would be, I hope Ian Gary doesn't fucking win. Best case scenario, though, for the best for the sport, I hope I hope Ilya gets it done. I hope Pereira gets it done. O'Malley needs to get it done. Hockett needs to get it done. Rufy needs to get it done. Bo Nickel needs a lot of easy underdog picks on this. A lot of not easy underdog. They're all easy picks to me. I think these fighters all present problems for one another, but this is the most interesting fight. This is the most 50-50 fight on the card, I'd say. Garcia Lopez would be the most 50-50 fight on the card. And that's why I broke it down first. But these are the best possible outcomes, I think. And there's one more I want to get into. I think they should do for 332. They should go ahead and just do the Merab Jan rematch, and I think that's logical. I think they need to go ahead and get that done. I think Jan could take that again as well. But this is my rant. I was just ranting in this video because I was just watching a bunch of YouTube and seeing people talking about these fights and what they think about them and everything. These are what I think the UFC these are the best possible outcomes for the UFC. I think if these fighters win these fights and we get these, I just think that we get so many interesting matchups. And with the McGregor fight, if I'll do a breakdown on the McGregor card another time, but this is my early prediction for this video. Peace out, guys. It was a pleasure talking. Follow me at MMA Messiah or subscribe to me. Like the video. It really helps out a lot. Peace out.